Welcome back to Crew W Racing. Today's video is we're putting a 666 gear in a 9-inch center section. There is a lot of things that we gotta do, not only just to get the gear in there, plus stuff I do anyhow in my gears, solid spacer, the way I set things up. There's a lot of processes I do. I'm trying to share the information with you and pass it on. The video's not shot the best. It's the second video I ever shot. The first gear video was the first video I shot. This is the second one. Then I did the introduction to the channel. And then from there, obviously, the other videos, as you can see. My race car video, I did somewhere in there, started it, but that's neither here nor there. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what I'm doing right, wrong, indifferent. I'm learning. I'm trying to make better videos. Definitely getting better on the editing side. And as you can see just there, I'm still getting used to the camera being my face, talking to the camera. It's taking time, but I'm learning. I'm getting better. I can see it in the videos. Also, check out my brother's channel at Trend J Racing. He does a lot of drag race. He does drag racing stuff, but he does a lot of project stuff too. Whatever he gets into, he shoots, kind of like I do. I've been trying to work on different videos along the way. I got a lot floating around right now, but they're all going to come out here pretty quick. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into this and see what we find and what we do. Okay, so we're back with another one. This is a stock housing. Had a stock gear in it, if you can see it. Definitely all stock. So what we're going to do, we're going to put a 666 in it. So what happens when you do that, the pinion gets a lot smaller and the ring gear gets a lot thicker. So what we have to do, we have to come in here, right in here, and with die grinder clean this up and trim it out some. I've seen it done by some of the gears I've gotten in, and all they do is come in here, just do it real quick, call good. So if I'm going to be in here with a die grinder, why would I not take this casting flash out? I do it on every one of them I do. Just because quality is important. And it helps with oil flow. Anything with the casting flash, there's a chance of cracking. Why wouldn't you? It takes 10 minutes to do that. It makes no sense why you wouldn't do it. And make it pretty. Make a quality product leaving the door. To me, it makes no sense, but other guys, time is money. And it does make sense. Time is money, but at the same time, what kind of quality are you putting out? So I'm gonna, do what I gotta do, and I'll show you the finished product. So this is the finished product of me cleaning it all up. I knocked the bearing in because I know I'm good. But I come in here, I clean it up. I clean it all up in here. Clean up all that casting flash. the biggest thing is with the casting flash. Number one, that one had a big lip. So obviously it's going to interrupt oil flow. But like anything else, you have that out there, it leads to a point of possibly cracking. So let me turn this over. I'll show you it from the inside. What exactly I did. Let me get in the light. Just clearance it out just enough to clear the ring gear. The reason is, I'll get it together here in a minute and show you, because the pinion size goes down, the ring gear gets thicker. So you gotta clearance it to make it work. Alright, so here's the difference in the pinion and ring gear. Here's the ring gear of the, I'm guessing it's a 325 or a 350. This is a 666. Yes, it's a lightweight because of this crown. That's the only way you could get a 666. Now, here's the pinion of the 666. Yes, I went ahead and pressed the bearing on it. But just for the next step, make it quicker and easier for me. Here's the pinion of the stock one, whatever the ratio is. I do know for sure this is a 666 because I counted the pinion. There's 6 teeth on it. There's 40 teeth on the ring gear. Quick math. 40 divided by 6 is 666. So I always do that to make sure I'm putting the right gear ratio into the housing. I've already had it happen to me. I've got the wrong gear sent to me, even though it was in the right box. Then I had to contact customer and let them know, hey, this is what's going on. So it happens, but always check your tooth count. Okay, so what I'm going to do something different from the last time I've done. I've always just tried, I have a number set for how I set these solid spacers up. The cross sleeve, like I said, will always just crush more and more the more tension you put on it. Solid spacer, you got to set them up and shim them up. Got some shims sitting right here. Yeah, they're not the prettiest. There's the ones I just tossed aside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this in here. This is a pinion support I already drove the races in. So we're going to crush this cross sleeve until I feel the preload I want. I'll pull it out and then I'll measure it and figure out where I want to put my solid spacer compared to stacking, playing with shims multiple times. Yes, we're still going to have to play with shims, but let's try it. Alright, so I went ahead and pre-oiled the bearings, and I'm going to press this down to where I feel the preload I want. And let's see what happens. Okay, we're just now starting to make contact. Yeah, I can definitely feel the tension on it as I'm crushing that sleeve. Yeah, now it's starting to get tighter. And right about there is where I want it. Just a little bit of drag. Maybe just a little bit more. That. What I'm looking for is just a little bit of drag. But not too little. Yeah, I could definitely start feeling it tensioning up. So a little bit more, and I think it will be there. See, now I'm struggling to turn it just a hair too far, and that's the thing with these crush sleeves. You run them down. I mean, it makes it easy for someone setting something up. You run them down and you forget about it. But right about there, I'll add it like 2 to 3 thousandths to it and see where I'm at from there. Okay, so I got the preload set on the bearing, on the pinion side. It feels good. The one thing is with doing these solid spacers, you got all these shims you got to deal with. You got to find the right size, and that thousandth of an inch makes a huge difference. So it takes 3 or 4 times sometimes to set it up. Even though I use the crush washer or crush sleeve to kind of get where I need it to be, and I added like 3 thousandths, 4 thousandths. Then I had to work around it to get it to where I wanted it. So it takes a little time, but you don't have to worry about it crushing ever again. So I went ahead and put the ring gear on this mini spool setup that the customer provided. It was actually out of the first gear I ever did, believe it or not. They wanted me to put a full spool in it, save this for this gear. So I got the ring gear on there. Used my bearing pulling tool. Very, very handy tool. $100 off of Amazon. Well worth the money. Went ahead and pressed my bearings on the carrier. Now, when you press your bearings on the carrier or press any bearing, you want to use some type of pressing bearing. What I did is I have a bearing, I cut it apart and use this end. I still need to clean it up because it does catch sometimes. Great for this. Pinion, when I set the inner pinion bearing, I just grabbed a piece of galvanized pipe, the right size, and use that. And the outer bearing, you obviously you just press in with the yoke on top and press it in, and that's when you feel your tension on your spacer. All you're doing with the spacer here is setting the distance between the bearings so the bearings can work without any extra tension on them, because they don't have a counter pin or anything. I mean, it's kind of like a wheel bearing, but it ain't, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to put it together, check my backlash, run a pattern. Also, when I put the pinion in, I went to my go-to shim. I always go 18 thousandths on the shim here and here just to start with. It takes time to get the right shim in there, but that normally gets me pretty close to the ballpark, and then you're playing with shims again, thousandths of an inch, 2 thousandths of an inch here and there, and it can make a big difference too. All right, so I got it all together. New yoke on, new 1310 short yoke. Ended up at 0.24 on the pinion shim. You have to bring the pinion out a little bit to get the pattern right. So we're going to flip it over here and see what we got. Come on. There's the pattern. All right. You can see it's hitting in the center. I like where the drive side is. Coast side's a little bit in, but I'm not so concerned with that. I mean, it's hitting pretty good. Ran it through. Checked my pattern all over the gear, like I always do, because I like to see the tail of what's going on here. Backlash is set up I believe 14 thousandths. Yeah, 14 thousandths. But you can see why I had to go in there and grind. You could see how close the ring gear is to the pinion support bearing. That's why I had to go in there and grind to make room, because otherwise it would hit. It would hit, and it'd lock up the gear. I ran into it before, but yeah, you can see that space. There's just enough space in there for it to expand and do what it's got to do. But the gear is complete. Customers coming to pick it up today. I'm very happy with it. They'll be very happy with it, so that's about the best I can say with it. And we'll see what happens from there. See what I get into next. Okay, as you could see in the video, I had to go in there and grind out the case, set up the solid spacer, set up the pinion spacer. So there's definitely a lot to this stuff. And backlash, yes, I did say 14 thousandths. The reason being, it's a circle track gear. They get hot, and I run them a little bit looser. Yeah, they do make noise at, when you first pull on the track until they heat up. But once they heat up, you don't have to worry about them binding. You don't have to worry about any extra drag or anything like that. So that's the main reason I do it that way. I've had great success at it. So it's just the way I do it. To me, it makes sense. Like a street car, I'll set them up 8 to 10 thousandths on backlash. The drag race car on trans brake, I try to get as close to 8 as I can, just because you don't want to have a running start at that too, then it just sure teeth. So there, different applications require different backlash and settings. It's a lot of information. I get it. So moving forward from this video, I did get my car back from the fab shop yesterday. So I'm gonna do an introduction video, walk around, all that, the work that's got to be done to it now. All the fab work's done. I ain't got to worry about that, but now I got all the mechanical side of stuff to do, and the electrical side. So that's on me. I got about 2 months to get that figured out and ready to go. Not even 2 months, a month and a half. And then we're out testing. And then we're racing. In the process of that, then you got the truck and the trailer. Because the truck I got to put a new carrier in the rear end, new gears, all that jazz. So, yeah, the gear man doing work for his own stuff. Also, the trailer, yeah, there's loads of work that needs to be done to that. Yes, I can use it the way it is now, but I'd like to have the winch in it and some other stuff. I've been using it the past 2 years the way it is, but it's time to get stuff right and done. Also, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what I'm doing. And I'm just learning. I'm not the greatest content creator. I've never said I'm a content creator, but I might as well share the information I have, because I learned a lot of the stuff I do from YouTube too. So I'm just passing along how I do it, my processes. So thank you for watching.